Once again, welcome back into This Week in Kahok Nation as we are going to take some time and talk things over with Colin Moore. He is the Collinsville High School boys varsity coach and beginning his first year as the girls varsity basketball coach. Thanks for joining us there, Coach Moore. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with boys golf. That season just ended, so give us kind of the capsule on your boys golf season this year.
It was different with the COVID situation, definitely different. We started off really kind of struggling whether we were going to have enough numbers to have a successful season, and then we ended up getting over 20 kids trying out for the team, which was a big number for us. A lot of kids tried to play other sports, soccer and football, and come to play golf as well. That ended up being a pleasant surprise as Riker Kane, senior, came out, plays baseball player too, came out, and he ended up being our best golfer this year. And under normal circumstances, he would have qualified for sectionals, as well as Jack Geisen would have also qualified for sectionals. But with the decreased number of golfers they allowed for COVID, we didn't have anybody advance, which was kind of a bittersweet note, considering we would have had two advance to the sectional tournament.
This was your seventh season, I believe, as the boys?
As head coach, and then my ninth helping out altogether.
Right. So I know that this season has been different than any others because of COVID, but kind of explain to us and give us a story on how it's so different.
I guess just coaching itself was different. You show up to a public golf course and we're all wearing masks and we're all trying to social distance, and the kids aren't taking the flags out. There's no rakes in the bunkers. And then with me coaching, I was more of they couldn't go inside. They couldn't get water. So I was delivering water, delivering snacks. So it was a little less satisfying on the actual helping them out with golf. But it was nice being the one to be there, supporting them, just being able to play a sport again. Because all summer we couldn't do anything. So just the idea of being out there was incredible. And just even the way the kids treated each other this year, everybody was just so relieved to be playing a sport. It just seems like everybody got along. Everybody was just happy to be playing golf and be out with their friends, really. It was almost more like a social club than a sporting event this year, which is good in some regards for a lot of the kids.
So these guys that never went out for the golf team before found themselves going out for the golf team this year just because they wanted to have a sport to play.
Correct.
So I'm guessing that you could tell that it wasn't the first time they picked up golf clubs. It wasn't like they were coming into this thing not knowing what they were doing.
And that's kind of what me and Coach Kemp, my assistant coach, talked about. We were thinking of some of these kids, if they would have known they could maybe try to play two sports or do both, we could have had some success with them just because they were good athletes. They're athletic kids. But driving the numbers up increased some competition at practice. So I would say the kids, we got better as a whole. Any interview I do, when I do a paper interview, whatever it is, we're getting kids that come to high school, never have swung a golf club freshman year, improving by 30 strokes by the time they leave, which is incredible. But we just got to try to start figuring out ways to get them to start playing golf earlier than freshman year in high school. But overall, we have a great time with them.
How hard is it? Because, I golf too. I'm just not that good at it. And I golf with my dad. I'm a lefty. He's a righty, so he's always trying to change things, and it never works. But he's always telling me, man, if we could just ever get rid of that baseball swing that you have, you could probably do better at golf. How hard was it to get these guys away from their baseball swing and develop a golf swing?
It was difficult, especially because the season's so short. So anybody that's played golf knows it can be very frustrating. And a lot of times baseball players or basketball players, they want a quick fix. What's going to fix my swing? And that's not how golf works.
Right.
So it's a process, was very difficult. However, the baseball players, since they do have a natural swing, and so hockey players usually have a pretty good swing, the ability of hitting the ball is an issue. Is this idea of not having to hit it as far as they can every time was always the hard part. But kids who play other sports are always very coachable, willing to learn. And just like I told you before, just having a competitive practice where we're doing a putting drill, instead of having 5 kids participate, now there's 15. So there's a lot more competition. And the kids did get better. I mean, they really honestly got better. Just not being able to have a summer and then not being their number one sport, just kind of a double-edged sword for us a little bit. But
yeah, you guys did all right in some tournaments. Madison County Invitational, you finished in 5th place. End of the year Southwestern Conference Tournament, you finished in 7th place. There was some natural progression as your season went along.
Yeah, it was just, like I said, it's just we're starting at a different spot than a lot of other schools that have kids that have played golf since they're, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. The progression was definitely seen by I would say, younger kids. Jack Geisen, Leighton Morris are two that I always think of that once it clicks for them, they'll really be able to be, I think, up there winning 1st, 2nd team all conference in our conference. They want to be good at golf. They work hard. It was great for practice this year. I would get there whenever I could, a little after 3, but the kids would be there at 1:30 hitting balls. They'd already played 9 holes before I got there. So when it came to playing golf this year, they played more golf than they ever did. But they didn't get to do it in the summer, because usually we meet 2 days a week in the summer. So it was kind of a bummer I wish we would have had the summer with this group. I think it would have been, we would have had maybe some more kids advance. And then it just, that I still can't get over, because Riker missed by 1 stroke.
Yeah.
Any other year he would have advanced no hard. And we still talk about it. I can't. And then we also ask him why he didn't play golf for 4 years, because he was pretty good for only playing for 1 year. But
you had Riker Kane, you mentioned London Fluss was another senior baseball player that came up, and thank you for allowing me to interview him on an earlier show. But now they're seniors, so their golfing is finished as far as high school goes.
And myself, Coach Schneider coaches the girls, Coach Kemp, my assistant, Coach Henson, who helps out. It's always nice when we saw Riker and Tag Baker, who came out for the first time, Chase County came out for the first time. I was pulling up to Belt Park, and I see them driving in there to play golf. So as much as you want to win every match, the idea of we turn some kids from non-golfers into golfers makes you feel good, makes you at least know they had fun, and they're going to hopefully continue with it their whole life. Yeah. So that was always a neat feeling at the end of the year.
Jack Geisen was only a sophomore this year, and I'm friends with his mom on Facebook, and she was early on in the season. It seemed like every day she was posting that he got an eagle.
Yeah, he was. I think, as weird as it sounds, I think that kind of bit him in the butt a little bit, because he started off making eagles and birdies, and then it's like he expected that every round. I tried to show him some stats on, like, eagles aren't that common. Like, that's a big deal. And then towards the end of the year, once he settled down a little bit, he did great. He'll do fine the next 2 years. Hits the ball a mile. You just got to realize that it's not always about how far you hit it. You got to get in the hole every once in a while. But he does have tremendous length off the tee. He's always out there working hard. He gets lessons. He's doing everything right to be a good golfer. And I know he's good at baseball as well. So 2-sport athlete's always nice.
Yeah. All right, let's transition to girls basketball. This is going to be your first year as the varsity head coach after taking over for Coach Lori Billy, who was the head coach of the girls basketball team for 10 years. So let's start off with this question. You've already gone through a sport during this COVID year, and you've gotten through that. What kind of knowledge can you take away from going through a season of boys golf during COVID and apply that to girls basketball?
I'm hoping we can be a lot more streamlined at the beginning of practices, because I'll know the procedure for checking them in and doing all the temperature checks and forms. So I think at the beginning of golf, I felt like a secretary instead of a coach. So now that I kind of know what to do, I think we'll be able, and same with Coach Schneider helping out, we'll know what to do to just get going and not have to, it won't stress us out as much. Any coach that's starting for the first time having to do all this COVID stuff, it was very stressful. Yeah. Because you didn't want to screw anything up. You didn't want to let the kids down or their parents down or and the school and the community as a whole. So just kind of having a little background knowledge. Coach Smith, AD, and Amanda are great helping us out. But it's just the idea of kind of knowing the process a little bit about what to expect, because it was very overwhelming at first just to see all that stuff. As
Coach Colin Moore, he's the boys varsity golf coach, the girls varsity basketball coach, joining us on This Week in Kahok Nation. All right, so now you're taking over for Lori Billy, 10 years of her style, her program. What, if anything, are you going to change about what she has already accomplished and what she set down and the blueprint she leaves behind? How are you going to make it Coach Colin Moore's?
Okay, well, similar to interview questions that I got. The big thing I will take away from working with Coach Billy is how important the community was, how important the program was to not just the players, but the other schools in the district, the grade schools, the middle schools, just the community in general, doing all the Christmas, we go to the Christmas lights and be in the parades. And that's stuff that I guess I never realized was that important. So definitely she helped me learn that was important, and that's how you help build camaraderie around amongst the girls and the players and the program. When it comes to on the court things, I would say the past, 3 to 4 years towards the end of me being an assistant, she started to do a lot more things that I was online with and started to take, a lot more advice. I think she was almost kind of realizing she was probably getting close to the end of coaching and wanted me to start having some more experience. And she gave me a lot of opportunities to put things into practice or go over things I wanted to do. When it comes to playing, it'll be different, because especially this year we have a lot of young kids. So we're starting over from scratch pretty much. The big thing I want to instill in them is they can get better every day. It's not always about the final score. I think we always, just because we had such good athletes for years with Liljegren and Knudsen and Mitchell, that they were always worried about the wins and losses. And yeah, that's important, but you got to get better. I think sometimes we forgot about getting better, and we're like, oh, we won, that's great, but did we get better? So I'm trying to make sure the girls know that you can lose, get better, you can win, get better. No matter what, we just got to think each day getting better. When it comes to style, I want to be a lot more adaptive on defense, I will say. I feel like in the past we always kind of played, everybody knew we were going to press this way and then play this defense, and I feel like I want to have more options defensively. And that's really what I've been striving with the girls is I want to be able to change on the fly. If we call it a number, we change. We call it another number, we change. I want them to be very coachable because I feel like with having younger kids, we don't have one returning scorer coming back because unfortunately Riley Doyle is out for the season with a torn ACL. So we just have Stas returning. So with 4 new kids, and Stas is pretty much on board to embrace things, it should be different. But when it comes to being the good athletes, the good people, that's definitely stuff that I want to continue. And like I said, I would not have thought that 10 years ago as an assistant, how important the non-basketball stuff is, and I definitely appreciate Coach Billy for helping me out with that. Offensively, I would say we'll be trying to push tempo a little bit, but at the same time, we have a 6'2" girl coming back in the post, and we want to make sure we throw her the ball inside. So it's kind of going back even further. I know before Coach Billy, Coach McFall had a bunch of big monsters that he would always throw the ball inside to. So we got a little bit of options there. We got a little bit of the speed game. It's kind of a little bit of everything. It's kind of a mixed bag, kind of depending on who's on the court at any given time.
Now, we are recording this on October the 29th, and October the 28th, which is 2 days from now, we're supposed to find out if basketball is going to be even played or not. So this isn't going to air until after we find all that out. So kind of a moot point to be asking this question, but man, I mean, are you like sitting on pins and needles right now waiting?
The girls want to know. I want to know. The coaches want to know. Because we've worked hard in the summer. We did conditioning in the summer, running, lifting. We've been using our open gym days, putting in offenses, putting in inbounds plays. I've been getting 12 to 20 kids 2 nights a week. So we've been able to do stuff. And I just feel like if it comes down where they say we can't have a season, I will be very disappointed, obviously, in my first year as head coach, but just more disappointed for Stas, the one senior coming back that started. And just, they put in some hard work. Right. And I don't want that to all go for naught, I guess. But I think they just want to know because they just want to kind of make decisions and plans. It's just kind of a weird situation. I don't know how to explain it. Every day I read something new. I don't know what the final answer is going to be.
It's all fluid. It all has been since March.
Yeah, it just keeps changing. Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned graduated Faith Lilligren, Katie Knutson, Kristen Mitchell, Natalie Becker. Those 4 girls put together right there were stalwarts in this basketball program for a long time. Tough shoes to fill, and I know you're not trying to fill them because this is what happens every year in the world of high school basketball. People graduate and more people step up. So coming in as sophomores this year, you have Jordan Gary, who got a lot of action last year as a freshman. Jenna Scheller, who got a lot of action as a freshman. That's your big post girl you're talking about there. How important is it to have these sophomores coming back in, having had varsity experience?
Yeah, and they keep saying, man, I wish we got to play more. I wish we got to play more. And the thing that I think they mean is this past summer, we didn't get to have our summer season where we go to tournaments and really see where they stand. I think as basketball players, they'll all do fine. They'll all work hard. I just wish we had that summer to get the physical demands of playing a varsity basketball schedule versus playing JV or freshman where sometimes you're the biggest, sometimes you're the fastest, but you go play those summer tournaments for basketball, it's physical, it's rough, it would really toughen some of those kids up. At open gyms, there's a lot of times we have 4 sophomores and a freshman as the varsity team, and then if Stas comes out of the game, obviously, and then it's as a new coach, well, new head coach, I would say, it's nice because you're able to set very realistic expectations for the kids. It's not like I'm taking over it would have been different taking over when Faith, Katie, and Kristen were all seniors, and Natalie, where you have the pressure of, oh, hey, these girls did this last year, what are you going to do this year? It's kind of a clean slate. So I think that has taken pressure off me. I'm hoping to try to explain to the girls that should take pressure off them as well. If you've looked at the schedule at all this year, it is the hardest schedule we've probably played, I would say, since I've been coaching at Collinsville. Main reason, there's no tournaments.
Right.
So every non-conference game is a legit non-conference game. And then which is nice because you know what you're going to get. 1 game a day, you can prepare for all of them. But it's always nice to have a game that you feel like is, in a tournament where you feel comfortable going into it. But there will not be one easy game this year. Every game will be difficult, but then that allows us to hopefully learn each day, like I talked about earlier. So
I have November 30th circled on my calendar.
Yep.
That's supposed to be the first game of the year against Civic Memorial.
Correct.
So I'm hoping that we get there, man, because while I enjoy doing this show, I'm really missing doing my sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about that today. Me and Coach Schneider were eating lunch together, who's my JV coach now. And we were talking about just what's going to happen. Like, it's just weird not seeing people in their natural element of coaching, and it's weird not seeing basketball in the gym. It's not seeing the volleyball girls in the gym. It's just the whole thing just seems so surreal. And as much as I was excited to take over, it was still surreal having the interview on Zoom and then having, it was just different. But I couldn't be more thankful for the opportunity. It'll be fun. The kids are already having fun. The coaching staff's been great so far, just so you know, in case you're wondering. They moved the 7th grade coach up to 8th grade. I got to sit in on those interviews, which is great. Coach Duke. The 7th grade coach is Sarah Tognerelli, who played in Collinsville. She's an alumni. And then my freshman coach now is Brooke Meyer, who's also an alumni of Collinsville. So it was kind of nice getting some girls who actually played in the program and can give me some information of what old coaches did, that they did like, they didn't like, the truth versus kind of always what they, everybody tells their coach what they want you to hear. But it's nice to hear the truth from some of these ex-players. So.
Right. All right, well, we're hoping that first game gets in. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Colin Moore, the CHS boys golf coach and a varsity girls basketball coach. We thank him for visiting with us here. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have more conversations coming your way next on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Looking to buy a new home or sell your current one? Trust the Blaylock team of Keller Williams Marquis Realty with all of your real estate needs. The real estate market is hot right now. Trust the Blaylock team of Keller Williams Marquis to help you find the perfect home or to help you get top dollar for your current home. Give Peyton or Emily Blaylock a call today at 618-780-4622 or visit them online at blaylockteam.com or on Facebook at the Blaylock Team. The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org.
Plumbing or electrical problems? Is your AC or heater on the fritz? There are dozens of companies out there, but do you really know who you're letting in your home? Trust Tiger. Our technicians are clean-cut, drug-free, and background checked. What other company can make this bold statement? Our 24-hour emergency service will ensure your plumbing, heating, AC, and electric are up and running no matter what time of day it is. Schedule your appointment today. Tiger Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Services. We earn our stripes every day.
Are the lights on your dashboard putting on a show? Bring it to Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Mike's Automotive is also a T3 certified tire center. They can handle all of the basics like oil changes and tune-ups and the not-so-basics like complete engine rebuilds. Mike's Automotive also has 24-hour towing and has 3 locations, Millstadt, St. Louis, and in Collinsville. The Collinsville location is at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call 345-0611, online at mikesautomotive.net and Mike's Automotive on Facebook.
Pack Mail of Collinsville, locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Pack Mail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because, well, you are a neighbor. Pack Mail offers shipping materials and containers, private mailboxes, as well as climate-controlled self-storage. Visit Pack Mail at 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, WeShipSt.Louis.com or call Pack Mail at 346-4884.
Cafe Agape serves up some of the best sandwiches, burgers, pork steaks, meatloaf, fish, and more in Collinsville. And yes, they still cater. Wedding receptions, luncheons, business meetings, and much more. And Cafe Agape is your destination for all of your holiday and party favorites, both main courses as well as delicious sides. Cafe Agape in Collinsville is the only place to pick up a Kahok sandwich or dog and the new Flamin' Kahok sandwich. Cafe Agape, check them out at 703 St. Louis Road. Give them a call at 345-CAFE. That's 345-2233. And don't forget to tell them Stewie sent you. First National Bank of Waterloo, celebrating over 100 years of banking. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo, now with locations in Collinsville and Maryville, for your mortgage and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, call Bill Metzger at First National Bank of Waterloo at 345-1121 or visit them with their new locations in Collinsville and Maryville or online at fnbwaterloo.com. First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your home is where you feel happy, safe, and secure. So if you see signs of foundation problems like cracks or uneven floors, worrying is natural, and getting it fixed is crucial. Woods Basement Systems understands. We've been solving foundation worries since 1986. Woods experts have the training and equipment to make permanent repairs. So stop worrying, because with Woods, it's fixed forever. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods, the all things basement-y experts. Call or go to woodsbasementsystems.com today.
Collinsville High School alumni Stacy Lauenstein, CHS class of 91, Lisa Bassetto, Sarah Sulke, and Tracy Limp, CHS class of 94, Tony Geisen, CHS class of 96, and Kevin Robinson, CHS class of 99, want to wish all of our Kahawks a great year. We look forward to cheering you on and supporting you. Work hard on the court and the field, as well as in the classroom. Remember, once a Kahawk, always a Kahawk. Hashtag Kahawk Family.
Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Brady Pest and Termite Management is your local pest control source. The Midwest offers its fair share of pest problems, and Brady Pest and Termite Management is up to the challenge. Whether it's pesky rodents in the cold winter months or ants, spiders, and other pests in the warm months, Brady Pest and Termite is your solution. And termites? Brady Pest is tops in the Metro East in termite management. Do you have unwanted pests? Then call the best. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Call 343-1790 or on Facebook at Brady Pest and Termite.
Once again, welcome back into This Week in Kahawk Nation. And once again, we are conducting our interviews here from the Old Harold Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville. And again, a big thank you to Derek Reiser and his crew for letting us do this here during this COVID pandemic. Now we introduce you to Lindsay Taylor, senior Lady Kahawk tennis player. And you know, I didn't even know that about you. Okay, backstory. Lindsay helped me out a few times, a couple of years now, behind the camera, manning the camera, while we live streamed the varsity girls basketball game. So we have a little bit of history. I had no idea you were a tennis player.
Yeah, all 4 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When did you? Okay, let's back up and start over again. Tell us a little bit about Lindsay Taylor and Lindsay Taylor's family. What's family life like for you?
Pretty good. It's a family of tennis players, really. I grew up playing with my grandpa and my mom pretty much forever, and big sports people. My dad played about every sport imaginable in high school, and so did my mom. I think they were very disappointed that neither me or my sister got into softball, but yeah.
But the sports bug runs in the family then, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, both participating and watching. Are you a fan of watching TV on sports?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you like the best on TV?
Hockey.
Yeah, there you go. That's my girl right there. Hockey. That's the, I agree with you, by the way. All right, so tennis. How little were you when you first started playing?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe, I was pretty little. Maybe, no. I don't know. I've always held a racket, but I didn't start seriously playing until about freshman year, 8th grade. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they even have a tennis program at the middle school?
No.
No? So you had to wait until high school before you actually got started.
Yeah.
All right, so talk to me about this year playing tennis in the year of COVID. What was that like for you?
It was different, definitely. But we still got a season, which is amazing. So it was hard. We didn't get as many matches as we usually did, and then it got crammed into 1 month, really. The month of September was so busy, about 4 matches every single week, and it was just tough. And with girls putting in quarantine, I myself was put in quarantine for the last 2 weeks of the season, and I was lucky enough to get out the day of sectionals, so I got sectionals, but yeah, it was definitely different, for sure.
You missed regionals, correct?
I missed conference.
Oh, conference,
yeah.
okay. And that's got to be tough too, man, because you finally get to that part of the year where you're playing all the teams that are like your rivals, and then you're going to get to play them.
I know that was a really tough week. Yeah, that was a big disappointment. But I heard that the team did really good anyway, and all the girls did really, really good. So I was really happy to hear that. That week I also missed our Belleville East match, which I was very disappointed about because I really love playing them every year. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah, I don't imagine so.
But I still got sectionals.
So yeah, you get to sectionals. What was that like for you after being 2 weeks in quarantine? I'm guessing you didn't get to do much practicing.
No, I got 1 day of practice for about 2 hours, and I stayed out there for like 45 minutes past practice time anyway. But sectionals didn't go the way that I had hoped it would, just for not getting practice for 2 weeks. Plus, I mean, if you weren't there, I've said this before, but it was so incredibly windy that day.
Yes.
That was probably the windiest day I've ever tried to attempt to play tennis in. It was insane.
It must have been that Monday.
It was,
Yeah, that was the same day I did my interview with Ken Oberkfell, and my camera got knocked over about 3 times.
It was insane, yeah. And plus, the draw I got just wasn't very lucky. She had so much fight. She was so good. She fought through that. She deserved that match 100%.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, speaking of the competition, who's the toughest Southwestern Conference team out there? I mean, I hear Edwardsville's pretty good, but in your mind, who is?
I mean, really for me, it's between Edwardsville and Belleville East. I mean, both just have so much dedication to the sport and are just so good. I honestly don't know which one I would say is better. They're both fantastic teams to play.
Talk about your head coach, Jessica Ledford. I know she's kind of new at this head coaching thing, but talk to me about her because you had to make that transition midway through.
Yeah, she's great. She is one of the best coaches I think I've ever had. She has so much spirit in all of us, and it's just so motivating every single time you step on the court. She's just so bubbly and just out there every day. Like, she wants to be there. She wants to coach us. She wants to see all of us get better. It's such a nice energy to have, for sure. All the coaches have been so amazing this season. I love all of them so much.
Let's give your teammates some props. How about the Collinsville Lady Kahok tennis team this year? Talk about your teammates.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I could not ask for a better team, honestly. All the girls are 100% like family to me. I love them all so much. Every time we step on the court together, it's just fun. It's never a bad day to be on the court with them. They try so hard. They have so much fight too. Everyone just loves to be on the court, and it really shows, and it just makes it so fun.
Apparently you are pretty popular amongst your coaches and your teammates too. A couple of accolades coming your way over the last week. Number one, you were one of 3 Collinsville Student Athletes of the Month for Collinsville High School. So talk about that. When you found out, what was your reaction? I
found out when I went to gym class that day, and the assistant athletic director, Coach Anderson, was like, "Hey, you got Student of the Month." I was like, "Oh," because that was the day of sectionals, and it was cool. I didn't expect to, and I was really happy about it because I've never gotten it before, and it was just really, really neat.
Yeah, and honestly, Coach Clay Smith posted that stuff on the Kahok Athletics Facebook page. That's when I found out you played tennis.
Oh.
So that, for me, I'm like, oh, okay, I know her, I can get her on the show. All right, and just a few days ago, you won Sportsmanship Award winner from the Southwestern Conference, and that is voted on by the coaches of the Southwestern Conference. So tell me, first of all, your reaction when you found out, and then, knowing that it comes from the coaches, and the coaches of the Southwestern Conference teams think that highly of you.
Yeah, I'm still in shock of it, honestly. I am so happy to get that award. I was very, very shocked to have realized that I got that award, but no, that is fantastic. I am so happy that I was even considered for it, let alone to get it. I didn't expect that at all.
So what would be the reason that you think that they would vote for you for the Sportsmanship Award? What kind of a woman are you?
I don't know. Honestly, I know I love the sport more than anything. Every time I'm on the court, I'm just so happy to be out there, and I hope that shows. I guess it does. I'm not sure.
Apparently it did.
Yeah. And I mean, I love everyone that I play. Everyone is just so nice and so dedicated to the sport. It's hard to just not like to play them. It's just fun every time. So I don't know.
Were you one of those student athletes who kind of takes a leadership role? Did you mentor and help out the freshmen and the sophomores that were, just getting into this?
I like to say I did, yeah. As much as I could, if I saw them struggling, just help out with a couple pointers here and there.
All right, so you're in your senior year of high school. Talk to me about school. What's your favorite subject?
English or art.
English or art?
Yeah.
Those are two that I don't normally hear too much. Usually when I'm talking to an athlete, for some reason or another, it's always math.
No.
No? So what's your worst subject?
Math.
Math, okay. Kind of knew we were going to head in that direction anyway. So talk to me about going through your senior year in high school in the year of COVID. How difficult is this?
It's pretty hard. It's definitely not what I thought my senior year was going to look like. And I know just about every other senior feels the exact same way. It's almost just not real. It's pretty tough trying to figure out, because I go hybrid, so I only go 2 days a week, and only seeing half the people that you normally do and only seeing half of your friends, and trying to work around that schedule of half online, half in school, trying to figure out due dates, trying to figure out how to work on stuff when you're not in school versus when you are in school, and just keeping track of everything has definitely gotten so much harder. And it's really tough.
How have the grades been compared to regular indoor learning Monday through Friday as opposed to 2 days a week? It's got to be tough to keep them up. Are you keeping them up?
I'm trying my best. Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder. Everything has gotten so much more challenging, really. Even just waking up in the morning to go those 2 days, because 5 days, not good at math.
We've already figured that out.
Yeah, because the days you're right there is the majority of the week, so you wake up for 2 days and it's like, oh, it's just so hard to get out of bed.
Yeah, I would imagine it's harder on the days that you don't have to be there.
It is,
yeah.
It's so much harder to get up and actually go to school than just wake up and turn on your computer.
Right, all right, so what's the future hold for Lindsay Taylor? Do you have college plans?
Yeah, I'd like to go to a college.
Just don't know which one yet.
Right. I've applied to SIUE, got accepted there already. I'm actually starting to look into their tennis team, so possibly. And I'm looking at Illinois State University, pretty hard. And then I've always wanted to go to Arizona State University, so it's always...
Wow, you went from 2 schools in Illinois to, let's go to Arizona.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, especially come December and January, you really start thinking about that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I don't.
All right, you mentioned SIUE and possibly looking into their tennis. Is that a must for you? Is you got to play tennis, or is it just more importantly about the education? But I would like to play tennis.
Pretty much, yeah. I would like to play tennis. If it doesn't happen, then that's fine. I'd rather focus more on my education, but just to not play tennis would kind of suck. I mean, I'll play no matter what with my friends, but
right.
Losing that competitiveness is just kind of not something that I want fully. So, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, what happened with you in basketball? You played for your freshman and sophomore year, and then I didn't see you again.
Yeah, I've played since about first grade.
Oh, okay.
And then I quit last year. Last year was tough trying to do that anyway, and
takes a wear and tear on your body, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah. My knees weren't doing great, and it affected my tennis season a lot every year when I would play basketball, because it would just make them so much worse. And I just wanted to focus more on tennis for my senior year and just see what else I could get out of it, really, without putting that much more of an injury on myself.
That's Lindsay Taylor, senior tennis player for your Collinsville Lady Kahok tennis team. Thanks very much for taking the time out and visiting with me. Nice to see you again, by the way.
Thanks,
I don't get to see you anymore since you don't play basketball.
I know, it's been a while.
Lindsay Taylor, senior Lady Kahok tennis player. We thank her for her visit, and we thank once again Derek Reiser for letting us use the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery here in Collinsville. And speaking of another Collinsville business, want to make sure that the guys at Code 3 Spices, they want to let you know that they still have their Meet America podcast that comes out every Monday night. So wherever you watch your favorite podcast, make sure you check out the guys from Code 3 Spices and their Meet America podcast. We'll take a break, and we're back with more in just a moment here on This Week in Kahok Nation.
Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud Kahok alums. Located at 302 East Main Street, Code 3 Barbecue Supply is your home for one-of-a-kind everything barbecue headquarters, providing the best American-made barbecue grills, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning rubs and sauces and donates 25 cents a unit sold to first responder and military organizations to aid the fallen and assist with suicide prevention and PTSD awareness. Stop on by. See the guys at Code 3 Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Code 3 Barbecue Supply, home of the Memphis in May first place world champion Patriot sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at code3spices.com.
As the Director of Sports Medicine at Next Level Performance Institute, I oversee the care of all of our athletes, many high school, collegiate, and professional. Our goal is to help athletes stay on the field and maximize their performance. We have state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment where we can actually perform testing to get to the root cause of problems that could be getting in the way of athletic performance. When it comes to taking care of athletes, we take a full-body approach, whether it's musculoskeletal ailments, nutritional issues, organic issues such as headaches, sinuses, digestive issues. We have advanced training to where we can remedy health issues and return that athlete to play as quickly as possible. If you or your athlete are dealing with any kind of nagging sports injury and would like to see if we can possibly help, feel free to give us a call or come by the office anytime.
Metro East Roofing and Guttering. Locally owned and operated since 1987 by brothers and Kahok alums Tony and Corey Jones. Metro East Roofing is your place for residential, commercial, or industrial roofing, guttering, or siding. Choose Metro East Roofing and Guttering, where quality is first and the job is done right the first time. Located at 1231 Lebanon Road in Collinsville, Metro East Roofing and Guttering is the hometown company you know and trust. Call 618-345-5679 today for your free estimate and visit their Facebook page at Metro East Roofing and Guttering. Just because you can cut your own hair doesn't mean you should. The Shop, a great place in Collinsville for men and boys haircuts, is where you should take your hair. The Shop is owned and operated by Collinsville High School graduates Danny Kress and Jody Neiman and is located at 103 South Seminary Street in Uptown Collinsville. The Shop isn't just another place to get a haircut, as Danny and Jody take great joy in getting to know their clients and look forward to turning those clients into friends. When you sit in a stylish chair at the Shop, Jody and Danny pride themselves on getting to know you well enough to say, the usual? So, men and boys, if you're tired of the same old cookie-cutter approach to haircuts, check out Danny and Jody at the Shop. You may just walk out with not only a fantastic cut, but you may also walk out with a friend. Or two. The Shop in Collinsville, 618-772-7175. No appointment necessary. The Shop, 103 South Seminary in Uptown Collinsville.
Ogle Auctions in Collinsville, the newest in online auctioning. Go to ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's HIBid.com to check out what's up for bid in the next auction. Ogle Auctions deals with everyday items like board games, t-shirts, and more, to collectibles, whether that is a vehicle, vinyl records, or vintage toys. Or how about a trolley car? And Ogle Auctions is always on the lookout for more items. Check out their next online auction at ogleauctionshighbid.com. That's ogleauctionshighbid.com. Or call Kim Ogle today at 618-980-4530. The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the Event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the Kahok Sports Network and KahokSports.com.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Whether building a new home, making an addition to the home you currently own, or finally getting around to that remodeling job you've been putting off, Pace Design and Construction in Maryville can help. Pace Design and Construction is a building and remodeling contractor you can trust. They provide the highest quality, they are dedicated to their customers, and are committed to completing your project on time and within budget. Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Give them a call at 618-407-5466, online at pacedesignconstruct.com, or on Facebook at Pace Construction Design.
Once again, welcome back into This Week in Kahok Nation. We are once again doing our interviews here from Old Herald Brewery in Collinsville, and now we are going to sit down with the owner of Old Herald Brewery, Derek Reiser. First of all, thank you very much for allowing us to use your place in this time of COVID-19. We can't do the interviews at the high school unless we're wearing masks, so those wouldn't probably come over too well on the old podcast, so we appreciate you letting us use your place. You're closed on Monday, so we've just been lining up Monday after Monday with interviews, and we appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're happy to have you here. We've got a nice big space, so we can stay distance as well.
Yeah. All right, so let's start by telling us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a proud Collinsville guy now. Has that always been the case? Where are you from?
No, I grew up in central Illinois, a little town called Ashland, basically in the middle of a cornfield between Springfield and Jacksonville, Illinois. I grew up there, graduated from high school from Quincy Senior High School, which has a nice rivalry with Collinsville. Oh, yeah. And so I got familiar with Collinsville through those great rivalries, both soccer and basketball. I was a band guy for the most part, but attended all the events, and it was a blast. And came down here, SIU Edwardsville, met my wife there, and so Whitney and I met, and we fell in love with the area and never left.
Been living here ever since?
Yep. So our kids have all gone to Collinsville. Our two oldest played on the Kahok hockey team, and our youngest is 13 and in the middle school now.
Yeah, and the oldest ones are where now?
They're SIU Edwardsville, wrapping up degrees there and about to find their own lives from there.
So tell us about life for the Reiser family before Old Herald Brewery. What did you do?
So before I was a tech guy, I worked for Enterprise Holdings in St. Louis for 26 plus years and had a great career. It's an awesome company, awesome family to work for. I was neck deep in technology and innovation, and I loved that, but just where technology was going these days and stuff, it's just, I wasn't as passionate about it as I had been through my younger days, and decided by the time I was 50, I wanted to have my own company. And I was very passionate about craft spirits, and we had been home brewers for 20 some years, and decided to let's try and take that to the next level and try and take craft spirits where craft brewing's been over the last couple of decades, and see if we can't put Collinsville on the map.
That's quite a leap from information technologies to owning your own restaurant. Have you always been into food and crafts and beers and spirits and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we love food. You know, we're foodies. We and have always been fascinated by processes of making beverages and fermentation science and those kinds of things. So pairing those up together to create a great experience and something that's unique. Really, it's pretty unique in the country, having both a brewery and a distillery on site with an experience where you can come back week to week and enjoy something new.
Now, was this always the vision, the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, or was it something that started off small and worked its way into this?
Well, we were pretty ambitious with the kind of experience that we wanted to deliver, and we wanted a full family-friendly experience. So we knew it needed to be a big space. And frankly, we fell in love with this building in the 90s. When the Herald moved out of it, like, well, something really cool needs to go in that building. And it sat vacant for 20 years. And so when we decided to take the plunge and try and start down this path, this was always the location that we had in our mind.
So knowing that you wanted to move into a building that used to be an old newspaper building, that's where the theme comes from. Yeah. And so I'm guessing that started as soon as you realized this is the building you wanted?
Yeah, we didn't originally have the name Old Herald in mind. We weren't going to reuse the name. We had a couple other goofy names in mind. And as we went through the planning process with the city, realized everybody refers to this building as the Old Herald building. It's like, well, that's the name. It needs to be Old Herald. And, we were originally focused on our company name as Ardent Spirits, and our brand for our spirits is Ardent Spirits. And that comes from Collinsville history as well. As the Collins family settled in here, they started a distillery and a flour mill, and they eventually got caught up in the temperance movement of the 1820s, and they destroyed their stills. They turned their fermenters into cisterns, and a couple of the menfolk left and went to other areas of the country. And when then Collinsville became more formally established and the property deeds for Madison County were established, they wrote into those first deeds that if you produced or sold ardent spirits, you would have to forfeit your land. And we thought, well, that is part of the history of Collinsville. That's where our name come from as well.
It's a little history lesson for you as well here from Derek Reiser, the owner here of Old Herald Brewery. All right, so have you always been a newspaper guy? You're a man of a certain age like myself, and I still like to have the newspaper in my hands. So you're an old newspaper guy, and then you get into this place and you start discovering all the history of the publication itself.
Right. Well, and it was a fantastic publication. We have met some tremendous people that worked here. We've thrown a couple of bashes for folks that used to work here and started their careers in journalism here. The Monroe family was your quintessential publishers, editors. I mean, just took the craft of journalism so seriously, and it's really impressive to go back through some of that history and learn about that we seem to be missing in this day and age. Hopefully some of that makes its way back into journalism today, but it's neat to have the soul of that being the kind of the focus of this establishment. So proud of that. My first job was other than walking bean fields and cutting corn out of beans and weeds out of beans. But my first paid job was as a newspaper boy up in Ashland. So it wasn't this paper, but so I feel pretty rooted in the newspaper experience.
That's cool. All right, so you've been open for coming up on 2 years, I guess, this January. Let's talk about how COVID's affected you and your business.
Well, it's been pretty crazy. It's been hard. The first couple of years of any kind of a restaurant or hospitality industry are really tough to begin with. And we had a lot to learn not coming from the industry. And this kind of COVID with the shutdowns in particular, really impacting our ability to serve people. We're getting great community support through curbside takeout. That was great. That helped us weather the storm in the spring. We're hoping that as we go into the fall and winter here too, that that we can keep that going, and we're just getting as creative as we can and adapt and improvise and, you know, try and keep the focus of the community first as well. I know it's really a trying time for all the bars and restaurants in the area, anything hospitality related, and you know, there's a temptation to just say, hey, I'll take my chances and fight the mitigations, fight the mandates. But you know, we from the beginning have said that we're very community oriented, and we want to be community first because we want to be part of this community for a very long time. And so we're not going to make short-term decisions that may benefit us immediately, but maybe not the best interest of the community for the long term.
All right, let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about the Old Herald in general. You guys aren't your typical bar and grill. You don't have any TVs. It's not a sports bar. Talk about your food. I know you have an on-site chef, and you like to use as much local product as you can. So let's talk about your food.
We do, yeah. So the food, man, the food's a lot of fun. It's tough to, you know, try not get too crazy and drive the price point, because whenever the better quality ingredients you use, the more expensive everything is. We all know that. We're cooking at home and everything. So we focused on as fresh as possible, sourcing meat locally, sourcing as much as we can locally, and then including part of our beverage experience in the products and the menu, the dishes themselves. So, you know, using our bourbon in our barbecue sauce, putting spent grains from the brewing process in our fish and chips batter. Those kinds of things, and having a lot of fun. You know, one of the most unique items that we have on the menu is our ketchup. We make our own smoked ketchup in-house, and it's, you know, it's kind of become a thing of its own. We love it. We've had people even ask if they can buy growlers of ketchup, and so, you know, maybe sometime in the future we can partner up with some folks and turn this into a ketchup town again too.
Turn it into a ketchup town with a ketchup bottle that we already have in this town that we're known for. Derek Reiser, owner of Old Herald Brewery and Distillery. I would guess the most fun part and the best thing for you is this big thing behind me here that looks like a giant chemistry set. Yep. That you get to experiment with and make all kinds of cool stuff. That's got to be the best part for you.
Oh yeah, that's my office. That's why I'm doing this, right? That's the vision for it, and to take craft spirits where craft brewing's been. So, you know, one of the first things I made on the still was a horseradish vodka. Collinsville being the horseradish capital of the world, was like, we have to do something with horseradish. So I went down to Keller, got 15, 20 pounds of fresh horseradish roots. We about fumigated ourselves, shredding it, peeling it and shredding it. You can imagine what 20 pounds of freshly shredded horseradish is
clears
like.
the sinuses.
It's like it's practically a biohazard. But so, and then I hang that in baskets in the still. And then I redistill our vodka, and the vapors pass through there and pick up that character and that essence of the horseradish, and comes out in the distillate. And then we proof that down a little bit and use it as a base for Bloody Marys. So it makes best Bloody Mary around, and again, it also helps promote, you know, one of the things that's very unique about our community and as being horseradish capital of the world.
Yeah, talk about the beers.
Beers, so we keep 8 beers on tap at any time. I'm doing the brewing as well. We have a full 10-barrel brew house down in the basement, so we brew about 300-gallon batches at a time. And our flagship and the one I'm most proud of is our Printer's Ink. I've been a big fan of Guinness beer, you know, since I discovered beer, and I wanted something like that that's smooth and drinkable, but roasty, with a little more kick. And so it's a little higher alcohol content. The current batch is 7.8% alcohol by volume, but it's nice and roasty and super smooth, and it surprises people that maybe don't think they're a dark beer drinker. It drinks a lot lighter than it looks, and it goes well with pretty much anything. And it's one of those things you can just kind of sip, drink very responsibly, even though it's higher alcohol. You can just kind of sip it, have a pint of it, and they're good for the evening. And then we have our Miner's Kolsch, is a Kolsch style ale, which is kind of a hybrid between a lager and an ale. German style, which in making it in the U.S., you can't call it a Kolsch, you can call it a Kolsch style. So we decided to have some fun with the name and call it Miner's Kolsch and spell Kolsch instead of with a K, with C-O-A-L-S-C-H. And then we donate part of our proceeds from that beer to restoring the Miners Theater.
That's nice. Good community involvement there, sir.
That's what we're about. We're about the community and being a long-term fixture for the community.
Yeah, love the place. Been here a few times myself. All right, one last question for you. Let's talk about the future. If I was to give you the sentence of, I can't wait for COVID to end because this is what I want to do, what would that be?
Well, we want to get our spirits out for the world. So when it's tough, we've just got distribution going. And again, we want to put Collinsville on the map for craft beverages. So getting our spirits, our unique spirits out there and in the marketplace. It's a little tough right now, even though we have a distributor now. Many of the places they sell to are closed as well. So when we come out of this, we want to build a brand and have people from all around the country eventually looking to go visit Collinsville to see where this tasty stuff's made.
All right, give everybody the local details of where you're located and what's the best way to get a hold of you during this current mitigation that we're in when you're just stuck doing curbside?
Best way is our website, www.oldherald.brewing.com. We have online ordering there. Our phone numbers, address, maps, and stuff are there too. Or you can call us at 855-8027. And we'll Facebook at Old Herald, Instagram. We try and post our weekly specials. We're going to be getting creative with that, with family meals and stuff. And we also want to look to partner up with local organizations as well. The organizations have had a tough time. The big money-raising festivals and such have kind of dried up this year. And so we've done some Dine to Donate activities in the past. We used to feature our Sunday brunch with a lot of the athletic organizations, and giving part of the proceeds to that. It helps us get exposure and bring more people to check us out, but it also, again, helps us give back to the community. So we're looking for ideas of things we can do and tie that in with even curbside deliveries as well.
All right, that's Derek Reiser. He is the owner here of Old Herald Brewery and Distillery. We thank him for visiting with us, and thank you again for letting us use your establishment for these interviews. We appreciate it.
Happy to do it.
All right,
Thanks.
We'll take a break.
Go Kahawks.
Go Kahawks, and we'll be back here in just a moment on This Week in Kahawk Nation.
The reviews are in. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville is a hit in the Metro East. Folks both local and visiting the area are calling Old Herald Brewery and Distillery a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is located at 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville and is home to one of the only restaurants in the state with their own brewery and distillery that produces some of the best brews and spirits in the area. And the food, all created by an in-house chef using local ingredients that will please any palate. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville has daily specials, including patio service and curbside pickup. Get yourself a bottle or a growler to go, or dine on their patio where you can hear live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Don't forget about Old Herald's open mic night the second and last Tuesday of every month. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville. Check their Facebook page for daily specials, online ordering at oldheraldbrewery.com, or call 855-8027. Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 in Collinsville or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience, choose Lakeside.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
Everyone has those projects around the house that you just don't want to do. AW Outdoor Solutions can take care of that for you. Former Collinsville High School graduate Adam Welly owns AW Outdoor Solutions, and he and his crew can handle all of the dirty work around your home or business, whether that's tree trimming and maintenance, brush removal, power washing, gutter cleaning, and leaf raking and removal. AW Outdoor Solutions can handle that and much more. AW Outdoor Solutions is fully insured and offers free estimates on all of their work. AW Outdoor Solutions. Call Adam Welly at 314-252-8010 or on Facebook at AW Outdoor Solutions. All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent customer service. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or on Facebook at All Pro Tees. Or call All Pro Tees at 344-2200.
Call Up Jennings Florist, a Collinsville original since 1939. Call Up Jennings Florist has a wide variety of green and blooming plants, specializing in all designs, from traditional to trend settings. Call Up Jennings Florist is of course your place for beautiful flowers, suitable for any occasion. From anniversaries to birthdays, graduations to weddings, Call Up Jennings Florist is there for any life's major moments. Call Up Jennings Florist, 517 West Clay Street in Collinsville. Call 344-0404 or online at callupjennings.com.
Extreme Details Vehicle Detailing in Collinsville, owned by former Kahok Jay Merkel. At Extreme Details, they believe in the value of community and in helping the community hold the value of their vehicles. A sharp-looking, clean ride that you and your community can be proud of. Extreme Details offers drop-off, pickup, and delivery service as well as a mobile service, whether that's a simple wash and wax or all the way up to a full detail job. No job is too big or too small for Extreme Details. Plus, Extreme Details offers scratch and oxidation removal and vacuums every vehicle regardless of what package you choose. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, and more. Extreme Details in Collinsville, open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Call Jay Merkel for an appointment at 301-6033 or 977-1224.
And welcome back once again to This Week in Kahok Nation. My name is Todd Duke, and first of all, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. It is Wednesday on Veterans Day. The weather has changed after 8 straight days of 70-degree weather. We find ourselves in the 50s. Nice sunshiny day, though, not too bad. So the weather's changed, but one thing that hasn't is where we stand on high school basketball as of right now. Status quo, as we all know, the state and the governor came out and said no to the basketball season starting at its regular time that was scheduled here during this COVID pandemic. The IHSA came out and said, yes, we are going to have basketball. Right now, the schools are kind of caught in the middle of all of this. people have said anything about state funding being involved. If you do, school insurance companies are coming back saying you can't do it because we won't cover you. And I'm sure all of you know by now that last week the school board sent out a letter to the governor and the state asking for an opportunity to have a sit down and talk about all of this. And as of right now, no response to that request. So we'll wait. Practice is supposed to start this Monday. I believe that will go ahead because it's just the teams practicing with themselves, which they've already been allowed to do. But the games are supposed to start on November 30th for the girls and December 1st for the boys. So all that right now is still up in the air, which brings us to our show that we are doing because there isn't any sports to bring you right now. First of all, a big thank you to the guests today. We'll get to their names here in just a moment. Next week, we are going to have an encore performance. All three parts of the interview I did with Ken Obergefell, we're going to do that. Then the following week is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and we're not going to have a show. And as of right now, we're going to take the holiday break, if you will, off. We won't have a show again until January, but we're hoping that between now and January, we have basketball and we won't have to do another show. So we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus, if you will, for a while. So a big thank you to today's guest, Colin Moore, the head coach for the boys varsity golf team and the girls varsity basketball team, Lindsay Taylor, senior representative of Lady Kahok Tennis, and Derek Reiser, the owner of the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery. We, of course, thank him for letting us use his establishment. By the way, I want to apologize for the little tilt on the camera there. I had no idea that was going on, or else I would have fixed it before I started recording, so I apologize for that. So thank you to all of them. Clay Smith did not have a segment this week. He's very busy meeting with the IHSA and the Southwestern Conference and doing things with all the schedules that he's in charge of as well. So we do thank him for his participation in all the previous shows. And if we have any more to do, of course, he is going to jump in and help as well. So thanks again to all the guests. Thanks to you for watching. And again, my name is Todd Duke. And until next week for the Ken Obergefell Encore performance, that has been This Week in Kahok Nation.